Hi, guys. I'm going to give you guys a few minutes here, or a few, like 30 seconds, a minute, whatever, to join me. Ooh, I see three people are out there. I don't know who you are, but we'll let a few other people come on. It's Friday. Another week has gone by. It's Friday. Remember how we've always said, wow, it's Friday, TGIF. And the meaning of that was like, wow, we're all going to get out of our offices, our places of work, wherever we work, and we are going to go out and party tonight or have dinner at a restaurant and then go do whatever we want on the weekend. Wow, times really changed, huh? Well, hi, Debbie. Hi, Debbie and Linda Lotman from Arlington, Texas. Beth, hi, Beth. How you doing? And Diane Bramlett, okay, and Claire Grigg, hi. Beverly, you're joining us from Michigan. Marty, you're joining us from Pennsylvania. So I'm just seeing some of you. Oh, here, Eileen Cates. I can't wait for Michael. All right, because you guys know I'm going to have Michael Bolton on today. I'm going to introduce you to a great guy. I mean, obviously incredibly talented, but such a great guy. So it is Friday. Next Friday, a week from right now, is going to be May 1st. Can you believe that? Isn't May 1st May Day? And that means that 2 weeks away is Mother's Day. Woo! Time for the shameless plug of the day. On your to-do list, is your mom still on your to-do list? Your favorite aunt? Your great, wonderful grown daughters who are fabulous moms, or maybe daughter-in-laws that are great wives to, or how about your teenager or your college daughter who's home now living with you again? Ah, yeah, that's good. And why did I come to this room? Perfect thing to just take that right off your to-do list. You're welcome. It is going to be a fun day today because I do have a special person to. Oh, listen. Okay, hold on. Say hi to. Special shout out to Jennifer in Motown. She's an essential worker who will be viewing your video when she gets home from work later. Shout out, big, huge thank you to everybody who's out there that's taking care of all the people who've gotten sick and who are still getting all of our stuff to us all the time. And a person who's been stuck at home for 5 weeks, just like the rest of us, is Michael Bolton. And this is so odd because this is a guy who is like a workaholic. He never has ever really, I don't know if he's ever taken a week off, let alone 5 weeks, or are we now at 6 weeks? I don't know. But I want to tell you about him because maybe I'll get you in the mood for this weekend, kicking back, listening to maybe Dock of the Bay. I love it when he sings Sitting on the Dock of the Bay or Georgia on My Mind. Those just get you like nice and chill, or Lean on Me. And that song has a special meaning to me because in the early 90s, when I met Michael, I was going through a really public, terrible divorce. And he read about it and he called me up and he said, you know, I've gone through it. I just went through the same thing with my wife. And I also have 3 girls. And I'm not going to lie, it's not going to be easy. But if you want a sounding board, a shoulder to lean on, I'm here and you can lean on me. And that was kind of the basis for a very special friendship. And I'm going to show you a couple of photographs before I call him up. We'll call him in a minute. I just talked to him. He was still like waking up. He goes to bed at like 5 a.m. So he woke up to do this today for me. He said, you're on at 1 p.m., like in the middle of the day. So when I first met Michael, you know, here we were, let me do this so it's not, yeah, so I don't have. So he had his long hair, and I'll tell you why. We'll talk in a moment as to why I was on stage with him. Believe me, I was not a singer. but I worked on his foundation, which I'll tell you all about in a minute. And then, like, through the years, he cut his hair, of course. I grew my hair there. And I did a behind closed doors of Michael Bolton. And this is taken in his studio, which is right next to his home here in Connecticut. And when I met him, and we'll talk to him about this too, this is the same, these two pictures I think are the same year. So when I met him, here were about my three daughters. So they were about the same ages as Michael's three daughters. All right. So we also had that in common. So now let me tell you, I am sharing a special guy. I think he's a really special guy. He, of course, is a Grammy-winning singer and songwriter. He started out with this hard rock band called Blackjack, and they would tour with Ozzy Osbourne. So we're talking hard rock, playing and singing. But he was also a songwriter, not just a singer and performer. And he was writing songs. I mean, like a big songwriter. He was writing songs for Barbra Streisand and Cher and Kiss. He co-wrote songs with Bob Dylan and Lady Gaga. Then in 1989, he went solo and his career blew up with the album Soul Provider. You remember that song? I Want to Be Your Soul Provider. Loved that song. And 2 years later, I think in 1991, he came on Good Morning America to release his new album, Time, Love, and Tenderness. And the interview was with me. And I remember that the producer came in, he called me in my earpiece and said, go out to the green room. Your next guest, Michael Bolton. I don't know, I just get a sense he might be a little nervous. But Michael's like kind of a shy guy. You wouldn't think it when he goes out there, performs on stage, but he's kind of a little bit, I think he's a shy guy in person. So I went out to try to make him, feel as comfortable as I possibly could. And I think maybe that's when our friendship began. But a couple of years later, he called me and said, I'm going to start this charity, this foundation, and I want it to help women and children at risk for emotional, physical, or sexual abuse. Will you get on board with me? Will you, host the galas? And I said, of course. And I've had just the pleasure of working with Michael for, 20 some years or so. So I'm going to FaceTime him. He was going to have a second cup of coffee after he talked with me, kind of get himself ready for this. All right, Michael. It's building. This is the opening act, building the anticipation. Let's see, I'll tell some. Whoop, try again. Whoops. Let me go here. FaceTime. I'm going to say, oh gosh, you guys, that's a fabulous song. I'm not sure which one you guys are talking about. Joanne from Daytona Beach saying hi. Sandra Jeffrey, love all of Michael's beautiful music. Margaret Shaw, saw you and Michael at the charity events. Christian, he does love his coffee. How do you know? How do you know that, huh? All right, Michael, come on. What are we doing here? Hold on. Let me see what's going on. Mobile, but we don't want mobile. We want FaceTime. 10 to 1, he ran off to get something. I just spoke with him. He'll be here with us. So we've got people saying that they love. Here's Elizabeth from Silver Spring, from Smith Jewelers. Do you have to be closed? I guess they don't consider jewelry essential. Probably a lot of us would, but Gayla, love my hair. So we got to find out. Maybe somebody in my office will call, I forget his assistant's name, but call. I made them promise me that they were going to wake him up this morning because, he said to me yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, I still go to bed at 5 in the morning, just like when I was on the road. It's just kind of my habit. So I'm not usually up at 1 p.m. He said, but I'll get up at 1 p.m. for you. No, we're going to see if he really does. So Christine, you're saying that was a great song, great album. I'm not sure if you're talking about Soul Provider or Time, Love, and Tenderness, but I've messaged his manager and let them know he's not answering. We're just going to keep trying this, and we're going to be annoying that he's going to now come back into he's at his house in Connecticut. It's not too far away from where I am. But I got to tell you, for somebody who was like this big superstar, I mean, I didn't know him real personally. I just interviewed him a few times on the air. But when I was going through such an emotionally trying time, and he called me up just to say, I know this is rough. And I also have, I also have 3 daughters, and it's really tough. Both parties want to have the kids with them. And so we were always swapping parent talk, nanny talk, because he would be out on the road. So he would need to make sure that he had good people there in his house. Oh, hi. Oh, wait. Yeah, when he was out on the road. I want to say hi to Michael or Michelle, is it? Michael's news, hi from Spain. And Paula Warnsman, I love you, and I also love Mr. Bolton. We're going to love Mr. Bolton if he picks up the phone. If not, we'll all just talk until Michael is the greatest. Yep. Hi, Joyce, Fazio, Kathleen Lenardi saying, wake up, Michael, wake up. And Christian, come on, baby, wake up. He's probably the worse at technology than the rest of us. That's Karen Day. And that's kind of true. Yesterday we were talking about it, and he was saying, so wait a second, we're going to FaceTime. So I said, look, I'm going to call you a little bit ahead of time so that I'm going to end this and start over and see if because listen, I'm not like the most tech savvy person in the world. I just got to say. But this is the number that I called him on. Oh, you know what? Let me just make sure. When they do this, the FaceTime. Nope. See, that's going to call regular. And FaceTime would call his cell number. All right. We're going to give him some time. He's worth waiting for. Okay. He is worth waiting for. Hi, Cheryl Van Horn calling in from Northeast Ohio. And hold on, Connie, you're saying I look fabulous? Well, thank you very much. Michael, are you busy filling the dishwasher? That was a good one, Kathleen Southern. He's actually home alone. His girls all live around him. Do you have Kim's number? I'm on with his manager. No, I don't. But everybody in my office, there you are.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sitting right in front of the phone and it wasn't ringing.
We have people saying, I loved the one that just went by. Is he at home alone? Do you think he's loading the dishwasher?
I did learn how to do that.
Really? Because you're home there by yourself? You got to fend for yourself?
I've never had to in 30 years of living here. I didn't know what you do with the dishwasher. Now I don't know where to put the dishes.
All right. I want you to say hi to everybody. All right. Here's Michael, everybody. All right.
Everybody.
All right. Everyone's saying you're worth waiting for. Like, you see all these people. Look at me scrolling through all the people who are saying hi. And then of course they're saying to me, hey, the unflappable Joan Lunden, because I have been dialing you for a while. I told them
I'm so sorry. I'm sitting right in front of them.
That is A-OK. I did tell them that when we talked the other day, you said, wait a minute, you go on at 1 p.m. I'm still going to bed at 5 o'clock in the morning like I always did. But Michael, that's when you perform and you get off stage at midnight and then everybody comes backstage. Then you do the after party. Then you all go out for breakfast and you don't go to bed until 5. But what are you
Right,
doing
that
all
life,
night now?
you know, that life you work till 2. I'm still trying to do a little bit of work at night, but then I'm trying to also just relax. So just being mellow and watch some TV, try to stay away from the news. I get just enough news to keep me updated to my own satisfaction. And then I'm trying to stay away from too much news because it stresses you so much. Unconsciously, it just sneaks up on you.
Well, but for you, I mean, ever since I've known you, and we don't have to say how many years that is exactly, but you've always been either just starting a world tour or just ending one. Like, you've always been on the road. I don't know if I've ever known you to take a week off. So how have you been faring?
Yeah, no, I think 10 days is my record of vacation. Extremely well, surprisingly well, considering I left California doing work there. I was doing some shows, finishing a new album, and I thought they might start shutting down domestic flights, and I want to be around my kids. I have a daughter in California as well, and I got to see her and her son, but my grandson. But I wanted to be around my family, and ironically, everybody is isolated. So it's going to be a few more days before I get to give the little ones a hug.
Yeah, you were like the only one in the hotel, and then you got on that flight to come home. Were you like the only person on the flight?
Yes, I was the only person.
Really? Like an LAX JFK flight? Wow.
Well, something like that.
So listen, so first of all, I want to ask you about the girls, about Issa and Holly and Taryn, and the fact that we're both grandparents. Like, how did that happen?
How did it happen? Where did the time go? And now that they're growing up so fast, it's unbelievable.
So, but let me take you back. Let me take you back to, I mean, before the albums that we all know about, Soul Provider, Time, Love, and Tenderness, you had this group, Blackjack, and it was like really hard rock, right?
Yeah, I just, Bruce Kulick, the lead guitarist, who became the lead guitarist of Kiss after that, just sent me 2 pictures yesterday or day before yesterday that I have to frame. It's so hard rock, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't remember dressing that way. So. Oh
my God! So now I'm going to definitely go and look for that picture. I saw the cover of a Blackjack album. Like, you guys toured with Ozzy Osbourne, right?
Yeah, we opened for Ozzy and Crocus and a bunch of Joe Perry Project, a bunch of rock bands.
Did you imagine, Michael, at that point in time? First of all, how did you make the transition from that to being that solo performer and come out with an album like Soul Provider?
Well, ironically, it was the president of Columbia Records, a guy named Al Teller at the time. He was the head of the company. And he was hearing my demo tapes because I was sending my songs to different artists and record executives to get the songs placed on their albums. People would call me, people who worked for Cher called me, do you have any songs for her? Laura Branigan.
Barbra Streisand.
Basically, they knew me as a songwriter, so they were coming to me, but I was giving them the R&B songs or the pop ballads, and I was keeping all this kind of rock, edgy stuff for myself. The president of the record company called me into his office, and it felt like being called into the principal's office.
I can imagine.
I thought this was going to be our last conversation, and Al Teller said to me, Michael, I want to make another record with you, but I don't want to make a rock record with you. I want you to do the songs that you're giving away to all of these other artists. Wow. That's what they want to hear from you. And first of all, I was pleasantly shocked because I thought he was going to say, well, it's been great seeing the industry. Good luck. And I thought about it and I said, I love that. I love doing the demos. I love singing those songs to produce them for the artists so they can hear where the hit is. And I said, I'd love to do that. And the next album was my first hit album. So not only was I'll Tell Her Right, but the timing couldn't have been more perfect, because that would have been the last album, maybe, of my career.
Well, that certainly is not what happened. 1989, you came out with Soul Provider. It was multiple platinum, and then came Time, Love, and Tenderness, and that's when I met you. Did you have a sense, Michael, that that album was going to do what it did, that it was just going to catapult you to superstardom?
I didn't. I did have a good sense that Soul Provider was going to have some hits on it, and people were going to know me as more than the writer. But Time, Love, and Tenderness is the one where I felt this is really happening. See, I didn't allow myself to celebrate the Grammys and the number ones and like all of it was happening, because I had had so many near successes that failed leading up to that point. And I had had rent checks bouncing to landlord, particularly one landlord who was a really nice guy, but he had his in-laws in one of the houses and he couldn't afford to carry me and my family. And my rent checks were bouncing. And it was the most depressing, hardest period, the hardest feeling that I remember in my life. And nobody ever wants to go back to that. So when I started having success, everybody around me was celebrating and throwing parties and things, and I just wasn't celebrating in my heart, because I didn't want to believe it and then be crushed, when the next single came out or the next album came out. During Time, Love, and Tenderness, after Soul Provider sold 10 million albums, Time, Love, and Tenderness was much bigger.
Yes, like 16 or more million.
Worldwide. But I remember finally saying, I think it was after the second Grammy, it was When a Man Loves a Woman. And I remember feeling, like sitting alone and feeling in the depths of my being that I'm okay and my family's going to be okay.
Oh. But this is the story that you hear from most people, that everybody thinks you're this overnight success. You just have to know. The scroll going in front of my eyes from the Dominican Republic to the UK to Spain to Thailand from all over the country, and everyone is talking about seeing you. One woman says, I saw you, and Celine Dion was your opening act.
Celine was my opening act for 4 months.
Yeah. Remember that morning on Good Morning America? I heard that you were in the green room and you were a little nervous. Having known you all this time now, I don't know if it was essentially that you were nervous or just that you're soft-spoken, but were you nervous that morning? I think it might have been.
We're talking about that, and I was thinking, I don't remember a time when I was nervous around you, because we became such fast friends.
Yeah.
That it was always comfortable to talk to you or see you, whether we're working or doing a fundraiser together or anywhere, basically. And there is something intimidating about live TV if you're going to perform.
Yeah.
And the show was so enormous, of course. But if anything, I think you've always made me feel very comfortable, and just I just always feel relaxed in myself with you. And considering we survived teenagers, multiple times more.
Yeah, we've also swapped a lot of parent talk, and when I need a great nanny, I'm going on the road.
The phone calls. Yes, that's something you didn't. I don't think you had the experience, but I was touring Germany or Spain or somewhere in Eastern Europe. It was all over the place. And I would get phone calls from home, sometimes from the nanny complaining about the kids, and sometimes from the kids complaining about the nanny.
Oh, absolutely. We're all there with you, by the way.
Okay.
Because I being on the road, I had the same thing.
What am I going to do? Leave the, I'm contracted for 50 shows. So I would wind up sending dear friends over just to get a close look and objective perspective on what was going on in my home. Otherwise, they were out on the road with me a lot. When they weren't in school, I would take them on tour.
Yeah. How old are they now? How old are Issa, Holly, and Taryn? I'm not sure. You don't want to say? You can just
catch bloody hell, I think.
Okay, so you'll just say Issa's my oldest. Okay, go ahead. You don't have to say ages.
Issa's my oldest, and she's got 2 boys and her own clothing business in East Haven, Loved Boutique. And my middle is Holly, with a son named Dylan. And she's the administrator of HR for a family philanthropy. And Taryn lives very nearby and has her own clothing store around the Rosie in Westport, Connecticut. I love that I get to see her running in to grab more boxes of whatever, I have no idea, and running back to her store. It's like 200 yards away. They're all busy. They're all so busy with their kids. It's mind-boggling. And then they're running their own businesses and have a lot of responsibility.
Can you believe that you and I are having a discussion about being grandparents? I'm called JoJo. What do they call you?
G-Pa.
G-Pa?
Yeah. There's no granddaddy, there's no grandfather, there's no grandpa. Just G-Pa.
G-Pa. All right. So G-Pa and JoJo chilling here having a conversation. I remember when I met you, first of all, I shared with them how after we met, I went through, a really horrible divorce, as did you, and that you just called me one evening, I remember, and you said, I'm not going to tell you it's going to be easy. But you gave me some great advice, and you said, and most of all, it's good to have somebody else that's gone through this, and just know that I'm here and you can lean on me, which is why I've always loved your song, Lean on Me.
But I remember those times.
Yeah.
I would have to say my divorce was tough on me because being a visiting dad just never sat anywhere comfortable for me. Otherwise, I'm very fortunate in a way that it was amicable. There was peace, and there is peace. But I have a lot of friends who've gone through really tough divorces, and you're a very heartfelt person, very emotionally connected person. And I remember that was a particular really tough time.
Yeah.
But as you do, you got through it, and you have this amazing, beautiful family that actually, in some ways, have grown up in front of me and all my friends at the Michael Bolton Charities. They're just bigger, like by far older, wiser, more opinionated than ever.
Well, my girls are, now the 3 older girls who you met gazillion years ago. I would bring them to concerts there, and they're all in their 30s, and they're all, married, and I've got grandchildren too. I remember I brought Jamie, my oldest daughter, to one of your concerts. I think we were at Madison Square Garden. I don't remember where. But after the show, we were backstage. We were in your dressing room. And all these stagehands had brought everything that all the women threw up on the stage. And they had brought it into your dressing room. And
I am not responsible for what they throw up on stage.
I know. And so Jamie, she must have been, I don't know, she was maybe a preteen. And she's looking at this pile, and she looks at you and says, what are all these bunches of carrots? Like, why and you said these are things people throw on stage, but why carrots? Jamie, they're letting me know that they know I'm a vegetarian, and this is their way of doing it. And we both kind of stood there and looked at all of these sexy little bras that were woven in and out of the carrots that I knew I was going to have to explain later.
That's how did that conversation go?
That was a good one, and she was like, but weren't they wearing their bras? She just couldn't understand that at all.
That's a funny one. Carrots and bras. Oh my.
Yeah. Oh my. And then when I came to, we should say, so Michael called me a couple years, I guess, after we met, and he said, I'm going to start this foundation, Michael Bolton Charities. And I hope I remember this right. You said to me, my stardom and my life that I have today is really because of all the women out there who have bought all my records. So I want to make sure if I'm going to do something, I do something for women. And I want this charity to help women and children at risk for emotional, physical, or sexual abuse. And you started Michael Bolton Charities, and you said, would you kind of come on board with me? Would you help? Would you host the galas? I said yes, and that was, 20 years ago? And that...
keep going.
Or more.
93, 27 years ago.
27 years ago, oh my gosh. So I'm so proud to have been involved with you, because that is such an important, powerful charity. And you guys work really hard with Jackie Smaga, who runs the charity, to make sure that you pick out the right places to lend the money, to give the money to, in the state of Connecticut, matches a lot of your funding. And I've been to some of those places, like Safe Space here in Greenwich. I've gone to some of them, and that charity, Michael, I mean, it has helped so many women and children get their lives back together, that you've really done a good thing.
Well, we've had great people around us, and you're one of the shining stars, because people love you, and when you get behind something and embrace something, you come from a place of great, deep sincerity. So when you're on stage and explaining what projects we're working on and describing what we do, you can hear a pin drop in the audience. You have this way with people and communicating, and I've always appreciated you finding the time to show up for us, especially as your life only got fuller and busier.
Yeah.
If you're not flying around with jet planes and writing books and raising kids, and I don't know how you do it, but you pretty much never said no. And I've always felt like I need to be there one time when you call me and I'm not in Asia.
Yeah.
Or, the good news about being able to do this work globally is that these kind of problems exist around the world. Women, I think, a big part of what keeps me going is I have 3 daughters. I have 3 granddaughters now, and the things that I've read and studied and come to understand, and I've gone to D.C. and lobbied on, met with congressmen and senators on both sides of the aisle who have very strong positions on protecting women, because they have mothers, they have daughters, they have wives, they have children. So it's something we can never go backwards on and fall behind on, ways to protect and enhance the future lives of women and their children who are at risk.
Yeah.
And we wind up turning the night into a fun night with music and
laughter
and great guests. And again, people like yourself. Well, really, no one else actually had committed that much time to being our host as you since day one. I think you might have, when you came on board, I think Andre Agassi was playing.
Oh my gosh, I just actually saw a picture, of you. I didn't bring it out here, of you and Andre and me. Yep. And you guys did a tennis match. In the early days, you were doing tennis matches.
Right.
And I think Andre and I both got on stage and sang along with you. And I was like, I'm not a singer. But then you changed it from tennis. I remember playing baseball with you guys.
And we had the softball
team. And then we went on,
Bombers.
and then the Bolton Bombers. I still have my stuff. And then went on to a gazillion great golf tournaments. So it was all in good spirits, but it raised a ton of money. And you've just done so much. You just have to know. I mean, it hasn't stopped coming in. Here, let me, like, I don't know about you, but I am wearing these days, Michael.
I can't see.
My glasses.
Oh, you're in your reading glasses.
Yeah, I put my reading glasses because I want you to know a few of these.
Oh, Joan.
I mean, wait a second. You've got from the UK, from Thailand, from Spain, from Hungary, from Brazil, from Scotland, from Chile, from Switzerland, from Portugal, from South Africa. I mean, it just goes on and on. You have to know that you are. Oh, thank you. Okay, so we're both in our glasses.
Just want to share that. Just want to share that with you.
I mean, they're commenting from all over the world because I know you know that you are loved by many, and your songs. I remember as I was going through my divorce, I probably listened to When I'm Back on My Feet Again, like over and over for 100 times. But music does something for people, and it gets a lot of us through tough times. You know, it's not just listening and saying, oh, great, that's a great song. But a song like, you know, singing Lean on Me, or, you know, or like When I'm Back on My Feet Again, those are just, they touch us in our heart and our soul. And especially the passion that you bring to singing every one of your songs. So I thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for being my friend and our champion for my foundation, for our charities for so many years. I'm so glad that I was in this part of the world to be able to do this with you today. I'm grateful to you for your friendship forever. Lots and lots and lots of love to you and all of your fans and everyone who's chimed in. And let's be strong together.
Absolutely. And I didn't even ask you to play anything, even though a lot of the people said, tell Michael to sing, tell Michael to sing.
Tell them I'm almost awake.
You're almost awake. Thanks, buddy, for waking up to do this. I really appreciate it.
I love you.
All right. Bye.
Always grateful to you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye for now, Joe.
And he gave me the same thing I give to you guys every single day. So I hope that all of you enjoyed that. You got to see kind of the personal side of a really great guy and an incredibly talented individual. But I wanted you to know what a good guy he is too, not just what a great singer and songwriter he is. All right. Kept you a little bit longer. Namaste, everyone. Stay safe and stay well. Bye-bye.